Shalom, Israel. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Barakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Ailatan Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai to my sisters. All right. So, we're going to talk about more fleeing Jamaicans, you know what I mean, who are trying to enter the US through the Mexican border, you understand? Which, you know what I mean, this news, you know what I mean, is, what I call it now, is new to most of us. But this has been happening for some time now, you understand, where Jamaicans have been seeking this alternative route to enter the United States for different reasons, you know what I mean? And it is getting so, what I call it now, it is getting so prevalent right now that you can clearly see that people in Jamaica are oppressed. You understand? And they are seeking drastic measures to leave the island because they are oppressed. You understand? They are feeling the blunt of this system here in Jamaica and them, you know what I mean, they want to leave. You understand? And for other reasons. You understand? So we have an article right here which says, fleeing Jamaicans survive gang attack at US-Mexico border. And this is what it says. A Jamaican migrant is heaping praise on a countryman who freed her from security razor wire as she crashed to an 18-foot fall after being pushed off the United States-Mexico border wall by violent gangsters she was fleeing. You understand? So this woman, she survived this fall after being pushed off, you know what I mean? After climbing the wall to go over to the United States, she was pushed off by someone. You understand? The Southern St. Andrew woman is one of hundreds, if not thousands of Jamaicans streaming from Mexico into the United States yearly through human smuggling collaboration, but who had no idea she would have nearly lost her life. You understand? All right, so normally when you hear about the border crisis, you think about our Mexican brothers. But no, you know what I mean? Our people here in Jamaica, they are at the border with Mexico facing the same crisis. Why? Because they are trying to seek a better life. You understand? And when me show you say, look, we have a refugee crisis here in Jamaica, like how Mexico have a refugee crisis with people wanting to leave Mexico to enter into the United States. And you might say, well, you know what I mean, that no make no sense. But when you check the lines that are at the US Embassy daily on a weekday, see, it is a very long line, crowds of people trying to enter the US, trying to get a immigrant visa. You understand? That is our, we call it, border between us and the US because we don't share the same landmass. We are an island. And, you know what I mean? That is the proof that we have a refugee crisis of people trying to leave the US, leave Jamaica to enter the US. But what makes it more evident is the people who you see, you know what I mean, take these alternative routes, you know what I mean, through Panama and Mexico to enter the US to show you that it is a real refugee crisis, same like all our brothers, you know what I mean, in Mexico, you know what I mean, facing it. You understand? Let me continue reading this article. Ironically, the mother of 4 had fled her homeland after being targeted by gangsters, forcing her to look over her shoulder and take calculated forays into public spaces. Right. So remember, I read an article about another young lady who lost her 5-year-old, which is presumed dead by now. You understand? No, this is a different story. This is another Jamaican saying that this is her experience. Why? Because many Jamaicans are trying to leave Jamaica for a better life in the United States, but you know what I mean? The means are very few. So it's either you get the US visa where most people don't get it, or you try the route that our Mexican brothers take. You understand? And many of our people decide, say, yo, I better them risk their life than to stay here and suffer whatever conflict might be between them and each other. You see? Or suffer here, you know what I mean? Suffer poverty here and die. You understand? Let me continue reading. Several of her relatives, male and female, have been killed over time, right? And like the news bring out from time to time as well, our Mexican people, our Mexican brothers are fleeing violence in Mexico. You know what I mean? Fleeing from the drug cartel, gang conflict, drug conflict. You know what I mean? Fleeing from all sort of things, and it is no different here. You understand? People are fleeing for different reasons. You understand? Which means what? Jamaica is not any, what I call it, like all these politicians would like you to think Jamaica no problem. Jamaica has a lot of problems and people want to leave Jamaica. You understand? Let me continue reading. Me I go slack ya. Me I go cross the border and buck up two of the enemy them. So not only was she trying to leave, but also people who she consider her enemy who she was fleeing from, trying to leave Jamaica as well. You understand? All right. Let me continue reading. Me see him slack ya, but you don't know. Me see him and me not really pre-set the man depend the settings there because everybody I try go across. The woman who requested anonymity because of the immigrant breach said in an exclusive cleaner interview. But what transpired next took her by surprise. The boy pushed me off the wall, she said. We go over and me drop straight in the barbed wire. Me have life same way and me I move round, but me get a lot of cuts still. But me up, she said, adding that she was grateful she was on American soil. You understand? To hospitalize. She was smuggled in among a group with 12 others, including her attacker, to Mexico. Her journey to the US reportedly took 3 days from her departure from Jamaica. All right. A Jamaican rescued her from danger as she was gripped by pain and anxiety. If I never name redacted, meaning they must say they know I call the person name. See? So if I never for this person, I wouldn't be able to talk to you today. I would bleed to death. This person lick it with an iron and me feel the wire broke. And him lick it again and me feel the barbed wire broke. And I saw me drop off, she told the gleaner. She remember being assisted to run before collapsing. She was later taken by ambulance to a medical facility in the United States. Another woman in the group was reluctant to climb the wall and remained behind in Mexico. Right. So other people was in the group, other Jamaicans, right? But them never want to take the risk. Them realize how dangerous it was, you know what I mean? And they didn't want to take the risk. But it goes to show you, you know what I mean, what our people have to do to get out of Jamaica. Because there's, you know what I mean, Jamaica is a dangerous place if you are a black person, a descendant of a slave here in Jamaica. Jamaica is not heaven. You understand? So what these politicians try to, you know what I mean, to say about Jamaica, you know what I mean, to encourage tourists to come to Jamaica. You understand? It's not the Jamaica where we experience. As a matter of fact, the Jamaica that we know we want to flee, for the most part, our people. You understand? But what we need to understand too is that Jamaica is not our land. Neither is America. You understand? We are not. The reason why we have to be fleeing Jamaica, fleeing Mexico, fleeing Trinidad, fleeing Haiti, you know what I mean? Fleeing all these countries where we are, is because we are not in our homeland. And we're going to jump to a scripture now. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and leave your comments. All right? So we're going to jump to a scripture right now. See? And this is the book of Jeremiah. Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 16, and let us start at verse 11. And it says, Then shalt thou say unto them, Because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. Right? Verse 12. And ye have done worse than your fathers, for behold, ye walk everyone after the imagination of his evil heart. You know what I mean? That they may not hearken unto me. Meaning, the Most High is chastising us because we walk after the imagination of our own heart. Meaning, we go off into all these other worships, talking about Christianity, Rastafariism, you know what I mean? Calling ourselves Rasta, Muslim, Christians, all these other religions. And the Most High say, this is the reason and this is what he's going to do. Let me read verse 13. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not. And that is what Jamaica is, a land that we know not. You understand? Neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. So the Most High is not showing us favor because we have forsaken the Most High. We in these religions calling ourselves Christian and Rasta. You know what I mean? And now we find ourselves in a situation where we are being oppressed over here. When Jerusalem is our land, if we were in our own land keeping the Most High laws, we wouldn't have to be fleeing. You understand? We wouldn't have to be fleeing trying to enter the United States for a better life. You understand? But this is all because of the oppression that we experience over here by the hand of the oppressor. You understand? This fleeing. So don't think because the Most High is chastising us, is, you know what I mean, the Most High is going to just turn a blind eye at what the oppressor does. The Most High is going to punish the oppressor for how he treats us over here. You understand? For the systematic racism that we experience over here in Jamaica, where the other nations are able to excel. And we, the Benjamites, the black descendants of the slaves over here, the children of Israel, we are pushed further and further back down into the garrison. You know what I mean? Where gang feud, you know what I mean, surrounds us to the point that we want to flee into other countries to enter the United States when it's the very United States. And also the systematic racism and racist system left by Britain, who put us in the condition that we are in, that we want to flee this island, you know what I mean, after being dragged over here into slavery and given, you know what I mean, the idea of freedom. You know what I mean? Now we want to flee because we realize, boy, nothing there for we. You understand? So let me read. This is the book of Jeremiah again. And we are chapter 50. And let me start at verse 32. And it says, And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about. So the Most High is promising to, you know what I mean, to punish Esau, which is the oppressor, the white man, you know what I mean, the Caucasian man, you know what I mean, because of what he has done to the children of Israel. So the Most High will kindle a fire. What is that fire? That is talking about nuclear destruction. You understand? Nuclear destruction. So the Most High is promising to punish Esau, and it shall devour all around about him. Verse 33, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And that is why you see Benjamin fleeing into Mexico, because we were oppressed together. Benjamin and, you know what I mean, and Issachar, which is Judah and Israel, you know what I mean, in time past, Issachar would be considered the northern kingdom, or Israel, they used to call them, right? And we would be considered Judah, a part of Judah, being Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, are half of the tribe of Levi. So Benjamin, half the tribe of Levi, and Judah would be considered Judah. But for the most part, we are all, both the northern and the southern kingdom, are oppressed over here in the west under the oppressor. So the scripture make you know, say the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captive, held them fast. They refused to let them go. And that is what you're seeing. They refuse to provide anything for us that will get us out of the condition that we are in. You understand? You seek a visa, you know what I mean? And they don't give the visa for the most part. How many people get a visa who applied? You understand? They don't even tell you the reason why you didn't get the visa. They just say, yo, boy, you can't get it. You understand? So them hold us fast and them all let us go. Even though them brought us over here into captivity. When we try to flee the captivity to find greener pastures. Right? They won't let us go. Them constantly have them foot on our necks and oppress. You understand? Them only let a few through the gate. A few, a minute few. You understand? And guess what them do? Them oppress everybody all the way together. Both Judah and both Israel. That is why you have so many of our Mexican brothers on the US-Mexico border. You know what I mean? Children trapped in cages. No, you have Jamaican children, if you don't have it already, trapped in cages in the US-Mexican border by border patrol and them. If you don't have it already, as we said, see, because Judah and Israel are oppressed together. You understand? So when we tell you that we are the children of Israel, this is not a sport. We are telling the truth according to the Bible. You understand? That's why we want you to get in our classes. You know what I mean? We keep classes on Sundays, 3 p.m., Tuesdays, 7 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Watch our classes. You know what I mean? Watch all the UPK classes. Classes are practically every day worldwide. You know what I mean? Classes in the United States, in different states. You know what I mean? Keep practically every day. You understand? So tune in, learn your history and learn what is going on. Why you have Jamaicans have to flee to Mexico. And you know that the Mexicans are not oppressing us because they allow us the passage to enter, you know what I mean, cross their border into the into America. You know what I mean? They understand our plight because we are oppressed together. You understand? So with that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, also share on all social media platforms. With that, shalom.